It's walnuts.
This is walnuts.
This is walnuts.
It doesn't taste like a nut.
It's definitely walnut.
Grand Rising, beautiful people. Thank you for joining the Hella Nuts Plant-Based Podcast.
I am your host, Mieko.
And I'm your co-host, Cammie.
The Hella Nuts Plant-Based Podcast is a minority mother-daughter plant-based duo.
This podcast will showcase our creativity on vegan food and what it's like to live a plant-based life in our community.
The connections and passions have moved us into a healthy, plant-based lifestyle, one that we want to share with the world.
You can expect on this podcast lively conversations, fun cooking demos, vegan recipes, and special guests.
So let's just dive in.
Yeah, let me know a little bit about you. Who are you?
So I'm Mieko. I am from the Bay Area, California. I'm in my mid-30s. I grew up in a biracial family household. My dad was Japanese and African American. My mother is African American descent. So we had a mixed race household, and especially when it came to food. My grandmother on my mother's side made a lot of mac and cheese and gumbo. And on my father's side, there was a lot of tempura and steaks and fish and sushi and udon and inside of dashi broth. And so that's like pork broth. So I had a great deal of experiences when it came to food. I own a nonprofit here in the Bay Area. It's called Imagine That Kids, and we pretty much give kids unlimited support throughout K through 5. We provide backpacks and school supplies and lunch boxes filled with goodies and resources and enrichments. So that kind of led me to having a passion for kids and wanting to give back to kids. And so from there, I started a few school kitchens, and now we are working on starting a new cafe, and we'll tell you a little bit about that next. Why don't you tell me a little bit about you, Cammie?
Hey y'all, my name is Cammie. I'm 21. I'm multiracial. I'm African American and Hispanic. I attend college right now in Louisiana, but I'm from Oakland, California. When I grew up, I got two ends of the spectrum when it came to food. I grew up eating a lot of processed food, a lot of kid cuisine, a lot of craft, microwavable mac and cheese, beef sticks, canned cheese whiz, instant ramen, anything that you can think of that was processed, it was probably in my cabinet and I was demolishing it. But when I went to school from elementary to 8th grade, I actually went to a small private school that was predominantly white, and we had a whole bunch of different snacks that were way different than I was used to, like baguette, organic fruit snacks. We had cooking classes that demonstrated on how to use certain vegetables and fruits at a really young age. So I grew up knowing about healthy food, but I didn't really start eating it until I was much older. My parents were young, so they didn't know much about nutrition or how healthy we should have been with our meals. So it wasn't really like at home I was ever really getting that healthy push. We always drank a whole bunch of juice. We barely ever had water. We always would stop and get fast food whenever we wanted it. It was just something that was easy access and easy to make and fast. I probably had it.
Tell me a little more.
When I got into high school, we had off-campus lunch, right? So I could really go anywhere. I craved for lunch. We got on the bus and went to Wingstop. We used to go get Chinese food. We would always go to this one Chinese restaurant that would always get shut down by the health department. And
okay, all right.
We would always ask, people would ask around, like, is China Hut back open? Like, when are we going back there? Even though they used to always get closed down by the health department. So I wasn't really cognitive of what I was eating. I didn't really care that much. As I grew up, I started becoming more conscious of what I was eating and how it was affecting me. But I mainly started being more aware about this when I started playing volleyball more intensely. I would be on some teams where we bonded over whole roasted pigs, and the other teams where all of our snacks during games were vegan. Now I'm a busy full-time college student. I'm a junior in college in Louisiana. Right now I'm studying agriculture business. I chose agriculture business because it's a broad field and it's always going to be around, whether it's landscaping, farming, or ornamental work. We're always going to need agriculture. I wanted to be a part of it mainly because I consider myself to be one of the good guys. And I really want to help our planet, but mainly help our people by pushing for more organic production and agriculture in the United States. Conventional production is just not the wave anymore. For those of you that don't know what the difference between conventional and organic just means that it's produced without chemicals and without herbicides or pesticides. And conventional is really just what they use GMOs, they use chemicals, they use pesticides, herbicides to produce these big yields that we need in our stores. So I just want to be a part of the wave of pushing this organic production because it's going to help our environment and it's going to also be better for our health as well. And we don't want any chemicals or pesticides and lab created products anymore. That's just completely out. So I just want to be a part of that movement.
All right. So how about let's talk about why we wanted to start this podcast. Why'd you want to start it?
Well, I wanted to start the podcast because I wanted to showcase how veganism can be fun, it can be creative, and it can be tasty. A lot of people just think that veganism, vegetarianism, anything that is a healthier choice is just something that Caucasian people do, or that doesn't have that much flavor, or isn't fun, or there's just a stigma about it not being popular. It's not relatable. And I just want to help transform that stigma and help people really open their eyes to what's going on in our world, what's going on in our community, and why it's important to stay healthy, especially at a time like right now.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely need people to be aware of that.
And it's just really important right now because it's so much going on in our world, and there's a lot of people pushing for like conventional produce, like how I was talking about earlier. It's an industry where they're just trying to push so much fruit, vegetables out to the market, the prettiest looking stuff. So they'll dye it or they'll make it grow super big. And it's just like, we just have to stay informed as people as to what we're consuming and what's going on around us. So I just feel like this podcast will help showcase all of that because we'll just be talking about different topics in regards to our health, in regards to our community, in regards to everything. And we want to enlighten everybody and not restrict information from our people.
That's dope. That's dope. So proud of you, child. Ashe.
Yeah, thanks. So why did you want to start the podcast?
So when I considered the podcast, I started thinking about the majority of my family and friends that don't understand the benefits of this lifestyle. I feel like similar to you, people feel like this is not a lifestyle for people of color. And I wanted to just create a relatable outlet for people like me and you. I see my friends and family making the worst food choices right now, but I don't want to continue to nag them. So I feel like this podcast is a gentle, less invasive way to inform our loved ones of, you know, just the greater experiences that are out there and the foods that you could be eating, and just listening to different people have different experiences and overcoming obstacles, whether they're health or whether they're emotional or physical, based on choosing this plant-based lifestyle.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's really important. And a lot of people don't really think about that.
Yeah, especially our people right now. I have so many friends who have died at a young age or got really sick at a young age, and it's really sad. And a lot of it was definitely due to diet. I've seen, you know, people have cervical cancer and kidney cancer and, you know, it's ovarian cancer even. So I just want to make sure that we are talking to people, you know, people of my age, people of your age, and, you know, just being as relatable as possible.
Yes, that's the goal. When and why did you choose to become plant-based / vegan?
I like to start this story by saying that my dad is a fisherman. So he loves to fish for a hobby. Him and my uncle Jimmy love to go fishing. And so I know how to smell fish. I know how to cut fish, clean fish, pick a good fish. I know how to put a fish back if it smells like a fish, you know, everything there is to know. And so I bought a fish from my favorite store, Berkeley Bowl. You will hear us mention this store multiple times throughout our podcast. I bought a fish and it was a cod. I brought it home. I cleaned it the best way that my dad taught me how to clean a fish. I put it in a little Pyrex dish and I sat down for a minute because you guys know that fish cooks quickly. So I said, before I put it in the oven, let me rest for a minute and then I'll put it in there like right when I'm ready. So I came back to the kitchen and I went to the refrigerator to grab some garlic and some other things. And I turned around and the fish had a parasite crawling out and it was like wiggling and like, it was the nastiest thing ever. And that day, I went plant-based.
I really remember that. That was disgusting. Didn't it go viral or something? Like, didn't Snoop Dogg repost it? I know Vintage Vegan reposted it. It was so many people that reposted it trying to let people know, like, this is what you're consuming.
Yeah, that was real. It was real. It was so many people that we didn't know, and it was so many people that we did know just making so many comments because I think for so long we've seen so many people post things that could possibly be true, but we don't know if it's true. So when you see someone post something that's so real and someone that oh gosh, that thing went viral. And yep, I stopped eating fish. I stopped eating every piece of flesh that there is out there, and I became plant-based. But what about you? Why did you become plant-based?
Well, I became vegan/plant-based in October of 2018, maybe a month right after my mom. I decided to go plant-based/vegan because I had just bought a new condo here in Louisiana. I had sage/smudged my house. So that's why I went around my house with burning sage and, cleanse the air, cleanse all the negative energy and all the energy that wasn't here before to get it out to make my space new again. And what triggered me was they said you have to sage yourself before you sage your house. So it's basically like you have to cleanse yourself before you can clean your own house. So I was like, that really stuck with me. And I had also been through a lot. I had a really bad accident at work a year prior, and I had lost my boyfriend to gun violence a year prior as well. So I just wanted to get all that negative energy, all the hurt, everything that was in me. I just wanted to cleanse it all completely. And the only way I knew to do that was to cleanse my body. So I decided to go straight in raw vegan. I transitioned into raw veganism. And that's just when I became vegan. I've been vegan ever since. I was raw vegan for about 6 months. Well, how many? From October to January. So October, November, December, January. So for 4 months. Everybody thought I was crazy. I got super skinny. It was definitely a transition, but I felt great.
Yeah, I remember your dad, when you came home, was like whispering. He's like, is something wrong with her? Have you talked to her? Like, is she okay?
Right. He was like, you need some potatoes.
Right.
And I was just eating raw fruits and vegetables because I was just trying to get a thorough cleanse. I wanted to get everything out my body. I was taking a whole bunch of medication from the accident that I was involved in. And at the time I was living in Louisiana and my doctor was in California. So they were just constantly sending me new medication and just testing stuff on me. So I was experiencing a lot of side effects like nightmares. I was having really bad migraine attacks and times where I couldn't even be outside, be in class. I would have to run home and go in my dorm and sleep and stay in a dark room. So it just wasn't me. So I was just trying to get myself back to the regular me, the happy me. And that's one way I did it, was by becoming vegan.
That's wonderful, because I definitely remember everything that you went through. And those were hard things, especially as a parent. We never know if we're supposed to trust the doctors and let our children take medication. And at that time, we thought that it was the best thing. And now looking back, those doctors were poisoning my child. Like, they were totally poisoning her. And every time she would call the doctors to complain about the headaches or to complain about the side effects and the bad dreams, and they would just up her dosage. Do you remember that? They would just give you like more medication or like a different dosage. And that was so crazy to me.
Yeah, they were just experimenting, just trying to give me whatever. But what we learned fast was that doctors actually get paid by every prescription that they prescribe to their patients that they pick up. So they were just trying to get their money.
Right. They definitely were not trying to help you. And I remember we first found that what was it? A holistic doctor over there in Oakland, over by Oakland Tech. And he gave you like some teas and some herbs. And I think you said you felt a little better just from those. And, That's great.
Yeah, nature heals us.
Nature does heal us. So let's talk a little bit about the levels. We just spoke about some of the things that you did, and you went raw for a little while. And there's like these different pyramids and things that we've talked about before. So how about we discuss one of the pyramids that we found that has about 10 levels and explain to people the different levels that there are within veganism?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm just going to go right into the pyramid. The pyramid actually consists of 10 levels, and at the base of all 10 levels is the standard American diet. So that's a diet we all grew up eating. Our meats, our breads, our cheese, our eggs, and our fruit. When you start going up in the pyramid, you're actually going to different levels of veganism. So the first level is plant-based processed food. So this includes like all of our packaged vegan cheeses, frozen meals, packaged foods, chips, granola bars, all those kind of things. But you have eliminated all animal-based products, so you are technically a vegan.
Right. You're definitely technically a vegan. And then we go to level 2. And level 2 is like plant-based whole foods. And so they call those raw and cooked plant-based whole foods. So you might see like, some greens cooked or some spinach cooked or some potatoes cooked or someone, maybe making nut butters or things like that. So those are more of the plant-based whole foods. And that's level 2.
Level 3 is raw until dinner. And this is when you're just consuming mostly fruits during the day and a plant-based cooked meal with greens for dinner. So you're not really having your salads for lunch or anything. You're just mainly eating all the fruits and juices so you can absorb all those vitamins and nutrients that are super abundant in fruits. And then when you get to your nighttime, that's when you can have the little bit heavier stuff like greens and cooked foods.
Right. I think I'm like at level 3 right now. That's where I am. Yeah. So then there's level 4. Level 4 is kind of where you just discussed before, where you were the raw. You eat mainly ripe fruits, you consume fruits and vegetables, you do it separately sometimes, and you can incorporate nuts and seeds like in moderation. So sometimes with this, you might just have like a fruit salad or a salad with a little bit of greens on bottom, and you might use a little bit of vinaigrette that's maybe a citrus or something. So you can include that within your raw diet.
Level 5 is fruits and greens. So this is ripe fruits with greens as desired. So you're not really having any greens all the time. It's just whenever you desire it, and removing all the veggies, nuts, and seeds so that you can allow for a deeper detoxification. You can get pure in your body.
So then there's level 6. Level 6 is fruit. Consuming only sweet and watery fruit and eliminating veggies and greens. This will help you dig even deeper into detoxification. So leading up to this, you're kind of already detoxifying your body, but eliminating vegetables and just only doing fruity is just going to give you a lot more detoxification.
Yes, I made it all the way until that level 6. Level 7 is monofruit. Eating meals of only one fruit will free up more energy for detoxification and allow the body to focus on healing instead of digestion. Do you know 80% of our energy every day goes to digesting our food?
And detoxifying our bodies definitely helps with like flu and headaches and nausea, diarrhea, sore throats, like all type of body aches and sinus problems. So definitely detoxifying our bodies as much as possible is something that we want to do, whether we're on the plant-based diet or not.
Right. So let's get to the top of the pyramid where you get super detoxified and you're getting all those impurities out your system.
So then there's level 8. Level 8 is the juice fast. In the juice fast, you consume only fresh juices. This gives your body, like your digestive system, a solid food vacation, allowing for your body to detox at an even deeper level. So we're not talking about store-bought juice. We're talking about you actually getting like a watermelon and juicing it, or you getting an apple and juicing it. You have to actually drink those minerals, and don't get anything that says cold pressed or anything that says that it is pasteurized. You want unpasteurized, pure 100% juice if you choose to do level 8.
Yes, that's where you get all those good minerals and vitamins from those juices. And it helps with digestion as well because you're not really chewing anything. You're not having to break down anything. It's all present in the juice. The next level is level 9, which is a water fast. So you're only consuming distilled or spring water for a period of time to improve body repair and healing. Spring and distilled water are the most clean water that we can drink right now. Spring is usually bottled at the source, which means it comes straight from the mountain, spring, wherever it's from. Distilled is actually water that is distilled, boiled, goes through a process to where it takes out any type of impurity, mineral, anything. It's just clean, pure water.
Right. Level 9. Actually, I'm considering possibly doing a level 8 cleanse and then going into a level 9 cleanse and just seeing if I can actually handle it. I feel like I want to do it before the summer and before we open the restaurant just to kind of get a real detoxification. And I've been talking to people about the distilled versus the reverse osmosis. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that on another episode.
Yeah, that would be interesting to talk about because a lot of people don't really know the differences between different waters, and some people can't even taste the differences.
Oh, yes. I remember when we couldn't taste the difference, and there is definitely a difference with water. So then there's level 10, and that's the very tip of the pyramid. That's a dry fast. A dry fast is when you consume no food or drink for a period of time, slowly adding 12 to 18 hours of dry fasting to your detox routine to get stubborn lymphs to move. So sometimes if you have like maybe knots in your body or different things that are going on with your body, ailments, it might be good to do a dry fast just to kind of basically what we'd call it is like an old school real cleanse. Like, maybe go on a fast is what somebody might want to call it and clean everything out of your body and do it for about 12 to 18 hours so that moving forward what things are actually affecting you. So that's the dry fast, and that is our pyramid.
Pyramid is so complex. I didn't even know there were so many levels to veganism.
Right. So many different levels. And so let's talk about that real quick. So where did you start? What level did you start on? And then what level are you currently at?
Well, I transitioned into eating raw, which was level 4. And then I moved all the way up to level 6, which is only consuming fruit. I did that because I heard that fruit is the most pure thing that we can put in our body. It has all the vitamins, minerals that we need, and it always gave me energy. So I did that. And then at the time, I wasn't really trying to make a lot of salads and things with vegetables because they would have to be raw. So mostly things that you're making with raw vegetables is going to end up being a salad. So I didn't always have the time to do that. So I thought it was way more easier to just consume fruits. So I made it all the way up to level 6. But right now I'm back to level 1. I'm just a regular vegan. I'm eating all the snacks. I'm eating all the ice creams. I'm trying everything. Because when I transitioned into being raw vegan, I was never a level 1 vegan. I never got to eat like the processed vegan stuff. I just went straight into being raw from a regular diet, from a regular standard American diet. So that's why right now I'm just kind of enjoying the level 1 vegan life. What about you? What levels have you made it to and what level are you on now?
So I think I went from the standard American diet to pescatarian, and then I jumped straight into level 1. And I think I lasted on the level 1 with the, vegan snacks and things until I started really learning what ingredients were what ingredients. When I started seeing soy everywhere, it kind of started scaring me. So then I just definitely gradually moved up to level 2. And I've been on level 2 for a while. I think that I probably will skip level 3 and level 4 with the raw and the fruits and things. And again, I think I want to do a juice fast next with just some natural juices and then move to the water fast and maybe try to do a reverse osmosis or a distilled water fast. And again, we're not saying that we do these different levels to compete or show off. Like, this is just showing you that there's so many different levels to it to helping you cleanse your body. And there's different reasons to go to different levels. Like right now, when I'm saying that I want to possibly do the juice diet, not the juice diet, but when I say I want to do the juice level or the water level, I kind of am considering the fact that I want to just detox my whole body and get myself ready for the next phase in my life, which is opening up this cafe for us. So you have to have your own reasons for joining the different levels and actually being secure with sticking with the levels, because I know that a lot of them can be a little challenging, especially like Cami was just saying with the college students trying to live a raw lifestyle. Like sometimes all you can do is, build big, beautiful salads. So, choose what level is good for you and let's do it.
What do you like or dislike most about being vegan, this lifestyle? What are some of the obstacles or benefits of this lifestyle?
I'd say the biggest obstacle to this lifestyle is something that you'll probably hear a lot of people say: access, access, access. There is not a lot of access. There's not a lot of snacks available that are actually healthy snacks. Like right now, there's a big push for like mass production of vegan snacks and vegan items because they know that a good population of people are going to go that route or are already that route. And so the things that are available just to me are horrible. And that's like my biggest obstacle right now. The restaurants that are available within the Bay Area right now are just not things that I currently would eat at. And so that part right there just makes it a little bit difficult. I say the biggest benefits though are my hair has grown like crazy. I feel like I have like pregnant girl hair. That's what somebody call it. But when people used to take those prenatal vitamins and your hair just used to grow, like my ponytail is like so long right now, and I don't have dandruff anymore, which is really interesting. I used to have to buy like special dandruff shampoo and I don't have that anymore. And the menstrual cycle is just amazing once you go plant-based. Like you don't hardly get one or you don't hardly feel it. So I love that. But what about you? What are some of your dislikes or obstacles or benefits that you've seen through this lifestyle?
Well, when I first started this lifestyle, I was cleansing. I was trying to get all the medication out of my body. So an obstacle for me was I was starting breaking out really bad. I had really bad acne all over my face. It looked kind of gross and I kept getting really bad scarring because of it. But I knew what it was for. It was because I was detoxing all of those impurities out of my system. And there was only one way for it to all come out. It goes in one way and it has to come out one way. So that was a pretty big obstacle because it made me kind of insecure and I was getting skinny. So I was just like, dang, I'm just looking hella ugly. Like, I don't like the way I'm looking. But I knew I felt really great, which was crazy. Like, I had so much energy. I was live. I was happy. So that was the benefit of it as well. Another obstacle is just going out with friends and them not understanding your lifestyle, what you choose to do, and then you guys going some places and they not have any options available for you, or if they do have like vegetables or fruit or anything, they make it in the same stuff as they use their meat items, like for example French fries, and like their vegetables are smothered in butter. So just those are some kind of obstacles. So it would just be cool if there were more places, social places, or even restaurants with more options for vegans, especially out here in Louisiana. It's not popular at all. Like in California right now, it's booming, but out here it's just now becoming something where people's talking about it. And even though people are talking about it, it's not popularized yet. So that's the only obstacles I can say. But otherwise, the benefits are my hair is super long. My hair is healthy. My split ends aren't even really bad split ends. I have so much energy. I wake up and I can wake up. I don't just lay in bed. I can get up and be active. I can get up and do everything I need to do.
Right. There's so many benefits.
Right. My mind is way more clear and I can just think about a whole bunch of different things and I'm more guided, I would say. Like I know exactly, I have more drive to do and get where I want to get. So I thank veganism for that for sure.
Definitely. I thank them for a lot of those same benefits, and everyone else out there, you can have them too.
Yeah, it's not just for us. It can really be for anybody. Everybody's always thinking like veganism works for them, but I don't think it's going to work for me. You never know until you try it, because there's so much vegan food that people have never tried and they don't know that it's
so
good.
On that note, definitely check out our website. Not our website, but on that note, check out our Instagram. Why don't you give them our Instagram so they can see some wonderful, flavorful vegan food?
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at Hella_nuts, at HELLANUTS50. LLA_NUTS. And you can see all the stuff that we eat. We eat regular food like you eat: spaghetti, meatloaf, burgers, crab cakes, pizza, heroes, waffle fries, tacos, burritos, all the stuff that you think that can be vegan. It's made some kind of way, and it's made with plants. You just don't know it.
Check out the page. And since we're talking about pages of food, let's talk about things to put in our bodies to nourish, like water, and what kind of water you drink and why.
Well, right now, I'm still drinking distilled water because I think it tastes super crisp. It tastes super fresh. It doesn't taste like anything. It just tastes like exactly how you imagine water to taste like. It doesn't have any of that bitterness. Doesn't have any of that metallic taste in it. It's super clean. And I pick it also because when I was detoxing, that's just something that they said would help my detoxification because it didn't have any type of additives inside of it whatsoever. So I've just stuck with it since then. But every once in a while, I'll get spring water, of course, like if I'm out, because distilled water isn't always available, especially in like small bottles. It's mostly always available in big gallon-sized bottles. So if I don't bring a water bottle with me, I'll get spring water. But what about you? What kind of water do you drink? Because you didn't even like water growing up. You made me drink juice the whole time. You're right,
and you don't have to clown me on a national syndicated show. But here's the thing. I never liked water. I used to buy water only because your dad would complain that I only bought juice. But that's because I didn't grow up drinking water again. So we have to break the cycle. So I'm glad that you love water now and that we both love water and that we have to have it in our refrigerators. But here's the thing. I am so questioning water right now because you said distilled water, and I've been talking to some people that say that too much distilled water can eat through your teeth. So like, I want to talk to you about that too. But right now with me, when I originally started my water kick, because she just told you guys that I have not been drinking water for a long time. So maybe about a year now that I've been drinking water, like solidly. And I first started with alkaline. I just had to have stuff that was like 9.5 pH and above. And that was like the best water to me. So I had got off of the Dasani Coca-Cola hype. And once I got to alkaline, I started noticing these glass bottles of spring water that we have here in California. It has like Mountain Spring, and it's like a glass bottle, and it's like the best tasting water that I've ever tasted. So that's the water that I love to drink, and it's spring water, and I know that it's bottled at the source and there's nothing extra in it, because sometimes you need to turn your bottle of water over just like it's a regular bag of chips and see what the ingredients in, because you think that it's just water, and there's all kinds of sodium and different kinds of things that they're adding to it and acids to keep the shelf life on them. So you need to be drinking water.
Right, pure water and not this extraness that they're trying to gimmick you with. What kind of juice do you drink? Because you're pretty picky with juice now too. At first you used to drink whatever, like Minute Maid, Fruit Punch, and Simply Lemonade, but
I don't
you don't even like that anymore.
I can't buy Simply anymore. I am on a strict, I won't put any type of liquid in my body unless it's spring water, some type of filtered water drink, or an unpasteurized drink. So completely 100% unpasteurized, guys. I mean, the bottle on the front needs to say unpasteurized, because if it's pasteurized, that means it's processed in some way. Some of them that are pasteurized, the nutrients that's in them is completely gone. So you're basically just buying like a baggie of sugar. And sometimes when you buy things that are cold pressed, or if they have been heated in any type of form, like those drinks, all the vitamins are pretty much gone. You're just basically drinking a piece of fruit for no reason. So right now that I'm studying and trying to learn more about this philosophy, I'm trying to put the best things possible in my body. And so if it's not a natural juice, then I don't want it. And I'm just going to drink some water. So right now my go-tos are Trader Joe's has a limeade, and I love it because it's unpasteurized, or anyone that has like 100% fresh squeezed juice, like right there on the spot that they're not pressing in the system. What about you? Do you drink juice still?
Yeah, I drink juices. I'm not as picky as you when it comes to juices. I like my cold pressed juices because it still has some of the nutrients. While it might not have all of them, but it still has most of the ones that we need from the fruit or the vegetables. But I'm still pretty open when it comes to juice. As long as it doesn't have any crazy additives, I always turn around and look at the label and see what's inside of it. And as long as it doesn't have any extra acids, extra additives, extra chemicals or anything in it, then I'll try it.
You're also a college student, so you have to make sure you can have access to things, and you're in Louisiana where there's definitely not a lot of vegan options. So
yeah, you're right about that. So are all the products in your home vegan? Like everything? Is everything in your house vegan? Since you're
that
vegan?
means that you're definitely not referring to just the kitchen then.
No, I'm talking about everything.
Everything in my house? No, I can't say so. I just went plant-based in September of 2018. So I definitely have a pool table that still has like leather on the sides. I definitely have a fur jacket that's probably in the closet. I definitely have suede boots, or I definitely have leather somewhere, or leather jackets. So I can't say that everything in my household is plant-based or vegan, but I can say that everything in my kitchen as far as food and products are vegan. What about you?
Well, not every single thing in my house is vegan, but like one, for example, I just can't give up my Uggs. Like, I don't care what any of you guys say about it. Like, oh, she should throw away her Uggs. Like, I'm just not throwing away my Uggs because for one, I spent my money on my Uggs. I've had them for years, way before I was vegan. And I just feel like it would be a waste of the animal that was killed if I were to throw them away. If they can still be used, then why not use them? But now, as far as me going out and purchasing new Uggs, like, no, I'll never do that. I'm not going to go out and support them because I've seen what they do to get the fur and get the skin from the animal to make the boots. So it's definitely not worth it. But I just don't see the point in me sacrificing those items because it would just be a waste of animal and that wouldn't be cool either. But as far as all my makeup, as far as all my hair products and stuff, I have transitioned all those into being vegan because they actually are way better for you. And a lot of the stuff that we don't know about, like our soaps and our face washes, our shampoos and conditioners, if they have those harmful chemicals and gelatin and animal products in it that actually seeps in through our skin, so it's just like we're consuming it. So it just doesn't really make sense to be vegan and still purchase things that aren't vegan as far as products that we're using on our bodies. So as far as that stuff, that is vegan, but my clothes and my shoes, that's the only stuff that I still haven't completely transitioned into vegan yet.
Right. That's going to be a transition for all of us. So what are some necessities that you have to have in your refrigerator or freezer that are plant-based?
I have to have some sourdough bread, a thing of biscuits. Original Pillsbury biscuits are actually vegan, and some fruit. I really love grapes. I'm obsessed with grapes, and yellow mangoes are so bomb. I have to have these little vegetable gyoza from Trader Joe's. They're super easy to make and they're bomb. I have to have garlic cream. I have to have some cereal and some almond milk, or some cereal and some cashew milk. I have to have some snacks. So sometimes I'll do like some salt and vinegar chips, or I'll do some plantain chips. I just have to have little bite-sized stuff so that when I'm going out, I still have something to eat and I don't like burden myself with trying to find something vegan last minute, especially out here, because it's just not a lot of places where I can still get vegan stuff. So I just always have to have little stuff to grab just in case I go out.
I am definitely the same way. I have to have things that are easy to grab that I can have in the car for my long car rides, or if I have a meeting, so that I have easy access to things, because there's not a lot of options when you're on the road. So I try to take like a bag of pickles with me. Dill pickles sometimes are really good snacks for me. I love Trader Joe's truffle chips. Those are soy free and they are vegan friendly. I like having granola bars. Sometimes Trader Joe's has a few that are vegan friendly, or just like pretzel snacks or things like that just to have in the car. But it definitely always helps to have fruit. Sometimes when I can't go get produce, I can order fruit from the Rotten Fruit Box. And if you guys choose to go to the Rotten Fruit Box, you guys can use our code. Cami will give you the code and you'll get 15% off all of your boxes. So Cami, what's the code?
So you can use our code, which is NUTS15. NUTS15, and that's at the Rotten Fruit Box.
Definitely. So having great little fruits to eat on and munch on and chips and snacks is definitely a great thing for all plant-based people or plant-based journey people to have on the go so that you don't, want to stop at that McDonald's and get those French fries, because even though you think they're vegan, they are fried in the same grease as that fish fillet and those chicken strips. So think about that.
The Rotten Fruit Box is also good for people who are in smaller cities, smaller towns that don't really have access to those fruits that we're talking about, and who don't really have access to organic fruits or fresh fruits, and you have only like a small market that doesn't really have too many varieties by you. You can always order from the Rotten Fruit Box, and it's going to be shipped straight to your door, and you're getting that percentage off, and it's just fresh. So why not give it a try? Let's talk about some things that we as people might consider vegan just because it's a plant, but we actually don't know for sure.
Yes, let's definitely discuss that, because some of the things that I thought were vegan were champagne, wine, supplement tablets. I thought shots were even things that were healthy and vegan for us, shampoos. And then I found out that champagne and wine and beer has like these things called fining agents in them, which are animal cells or animal parts. And so those are put in different wines to help the shelf life. And that is just disgusting to me. So I have stopped drinking a lot of champagnes. And then I found out the other day I went to Bevmo, and Bevmo didn't even have any that were vegan friendly. So I've moved into drinking ciders now because those are definitely vegan friendly. What are some of the things that you thought were vegan?
I thought that candy that wasn't chocolate, so like gummies and sour straws and, sour candies were gonna be vegan just because of like fruit flavors, and they don't seem to have anything like milk in it. But candy gummies are actually made from gelatin from animal bones as well as marshmallows.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, but I guess that's how it gets its chewy texture. Also, bright red colored foods like hot chips and red candy and red dyed things are actually made with ground up beetles called carmine. And that's how it gets that bright red color.
So you're telling me that when we're buying Cheetos or hot chips or hot fries and those red powdery things that are on them, like the Doritos that get on your fingers, that's ground up insects?
Yep, that's exactly what that is, that people are just licking off and sucking off their fingers.
Oh my gosh, do you hear that? My minority community, every corner store is selling us these hot Cheetos and red chips, and we are feeding our kids and ourselves bug chips, pretty much.
That's exactly what that is. Also, store-bought veggie burgers are sometimes not vegan. You have to really pay attention to the ingredients because some veggie burgers contain eggs or even dairy.
I was going to say, please pay attention to that, because I've found that recently a lot of boxes might even say that they are vegan ingredients, but it's made on equipment that is milk or egg-based equipment. And so you really have to make sure that you're paying attention to the product so that you don't get sick.
Yeah, that's really important. You don't want to cross-contaminate at all. But the last thing that we might all think is vegan, and I was shocked to find this out as well, was that sugar is actually, most like cheap sugars and processed sugars are processed with bone char from different animals and to make it stretch. And I think that that's pretty crazy as well. Sugar comes from sugar cane, which is a crop, and you wouldn't think that they added any kind of animal product to it, but some people do to make it stretch and so that they can get more money from it.
That is crazy. That is crazy. And you have to definitely pay attention to things like skincare products too. I think you talked about this earlier, having to transition some of your things that were in your house. And I know that it's been really hard finding, cruelty-free, vegan-friendly type skin products. So why don't you tell them a little bit about the one that we found?
Yeah, so we actually found a good vegan-friendly, non-toxic, cruelty-free lip suede and face creams and cleansers by Civilized Cosmetics. So if you use our code, you can actually get 50% off today. That's half off of these products from Civilized Cosmetics. What's the code, Mom?
The code is HELLANUTS50. That is HELLANUTS50. And you get 50% off anything that's on their site. And I'm telling you, they have everything. Their lip suedes look really nice. I can't wait to try those. And they have some great face creams like Cami had mentioned earlier. So everything is cruelty-free and vegan-friendly. So if you're looking for transitioning and trying to buy new things for your body, I think this is a great way. Civilized Cosmetics is offering 50% off. So go to civilizedcosmetics.com and use our code HELLANUTS50.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. If you actually end up getting anything, be sure to tag us on your post at Hella_nuts so that we can see you in it as well. That would be great.
Yeah, and leave us some reviews on how you liked everything. So at the end of every episode, we will talk about our favorite ingredients or our favorite recipes. And so on today's episode, Cami wants to discuss her favorite ingredients. What are your favorite ingredients for plant-based cooking?
Well, when I moved out here to Louisiana, we were actually on a plane and we sat next to this big old fat guy who looked like he knew how to cook some good old food, but he was telling us about the trilogy. And what the trilogy is out here in Louisiana is bell peppers, onions, and celery. So I use that for the base of most of my plant-based food, and it makes it even more delicious and it makes it taste way more flavorful, and it gives it just that extra zing that it needs. So I add that to almost anything. What about you? What's your favorite recipe and ingredients to use for plant-based cooking?
My favorite recipe right now has got to be the jackfruit burrito. I think that everyone should learn how to make jackfruit. You can buy canned jackfruit or you can buy fresh jackfruit, and you can buy from Trader Joe's. And all you have to do, guys, is drain it and put it on some parchment paper and put it in the oven with a little bit of avocado oil or some type of nut oil and baste it for a little while and put some seasoning on top of that. You can add any kind of seasoning like chipotle seasoning or, liquid smoke or anything that you want it to taste like, and let it bake for about 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, the jackfruit will be breakable by fork and you can kind of shred it apart. And that right there is your meat. And then just build a burrito from that. Like, get you a burrito shell and put that jackfruit on there. Add a little rice, a little bit of bean or corn salsa, some garlic cream or something, some jalapenos. Throw your veggies in there. This is the time to throw your pumpkin seeds in there and your red onions or any kind of slaw or sprouts in there, and just roll it up. And I just love burritos. Burritos are great warm. Burritos are great hot. And as Cami just discovered, burritos are also great cold. So try a burrito.
Yeah, they're super easy to make and they're easy to take on the go as well if you're in a rush or anything. It's also something that can be easy to make that a lot of people don't really think about. It's just throwing a whole bunch of ingredients in a tortilla shell and just rolling it right up.
Exactly.
Well, thank you guys for listening. But before you go, if you are thinking about transitioning into this vegan/plant-based lifestyle, start by reading the ingredients on the back of the stuff that you're interested in buying. That is a big step, and you'll start noticing what you want to consume and what you don't want to consume. But let me leave you on this note. Let me give you 3 reasons why you should transition today. Number 1, your health. When you start eating plant-based/vegan, you get so much energy. You are becoming resistant to certain diseases, and you won't be consuming any negative energy or hidden ingredients. Reason number 2 is our environment. You won't be contributing to producing fossil fuels in our atmosphere by not supporting overcrowded farms that are polluting our oceans and our air. And you're starting to reverse climate change. Reason number 3, longevity. You can live a long, positive life by being vegan. And my last point I want to get to is we learn in school that energy is never destroyed but merely transferred, right? So just think about it. If you're eating something that has been suffering and died sad, lonely, scared, or depressed, you're ingesting that energy. So that's probably why you're feeling that way sometimes and you don't know how to explain it. So just keep that in mind when you want to eat some flesh. Now, if you enjoyed the show, please click the subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Hella_nuts.
And for your desire, we will list all of the coupon codes that we discussed in our bio under this episode. Once again, the Rotten Fruit Box code is NUTS, NUTS15, and the Civilized Cosmetic 50% off coupon is HELLANUTS50, HELLANUTS50.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Talk to you soon.
It's walnuts.
This is walnuts.
This is walnuts.
It doesn't taste like a nut.
It's definitely walnut.